it's very difficult to stay on any sort of schedule during the NHL playoffs. Usually I would have another job that was at night, and I would just go do that job at night, and while on TV, follow along with the hockey games, and it was great. But now, got to wake up and come do something. I haven't adjusted yet.
It's weird because I feel like the schedule doesn't change too much. Like there's often a 10:30 game that I stay up for during the regular season. Maybe I don't pay as close of attention as I do in the playoffs. But it's for me, the problem is trying to get to bed after that late game versus what it's like in the regular season. In the regular season, I don't get invested in that late game. I go to bed, fall asleep pretty quickly. During the playoffs, you go to bed and I'm like I'm jazzed up.
This year, I've finally realized something that happens every year, and it's the most difficult thing that I face. And maybe it's like an old man thing because I know I do not fall asleep on the couch. Will not do that. Mm-hmm. I don't fall asleep outside the bedroom in front of other people. Don't do any of that shit. I think that is the fucking worst behavior.
Humiliating.
I think that is terrible behavior. It is socially acceptable if you're Sean's like Sean's so much older than us. Sean's like, I will fall asleep anywhere. What's your problem?
It's just like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, if you want to fall asleep, a wild take by you.
If you want to fall asleep in front of me, then like.
If I fall asleep in front of you, I want you to shake me and say, "Hey, you're a grown ass man. Wake up."
No, you're a grown ass man. Sleep wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
deal with the consequences.
It doesn't affect me like when somebody else falls asleep.
I don't think it's bad behavior at all.
If we're traveling, if we're on a plane, if we're on a train, if we're whatever, as long as I'm not the one driving, sure, I can fall asleep. But if we're hanging out, what? I did a fucking 24-hour stream with you guys, and none of us were thinking
with that just falls asleep in the middle of the hang.
Like the only time I've ever hung out with people where they've ended up falling asleep was like a situation in which it was incredibly, like it was perfectly acceptable for them to fall asleep.
I think if you're hanging out with people who are falling asleep while you're hanging out, that's like a reflection of you, maybe.
No, I mean whether you're hanging out with family or whatever it may be, if you're like around loved ones, it's acceptable. It goes on
holidays.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
If there's not somebody falling asleep at a holiday party, that's
the point of Thanksgiving.
That's a staple of a holiday.
You know what I want to do when someone falls asleep in front of me in that setting?
Also fall asleep personally.
No. Can't say it. I'm not allowed to say that stuff anymore.
You the K word?
Yeah. I want them out of the picture.
Oh my God.
I want them gone.
Threatening to kill his relatives when they fall asleep after some turkey.
It's like literally the holiday is based around eating a food that scientifically puts you to sleep.
You know what I do when I want to fall asleep? I go to the fucking bedroom.
What if you're at somebody's house? What if they're hosting? You're going to that's worse behavior.
I'll adjourn anywhere.
Yeah, that is way worse behavior.
Way worse behavior.
Being like,
to go
fuck you guys, I'd rather sleep
in somebody else's bed.
Establishes dominance, and it saves them having a fucking sleeping. Oh, you got to get over here. Shit's wild. We got fucking music. We got chips. A motherfucker's asleep. Stop.
Especially if I ever am at like a home for the holidays and I fall asleep around my family and one of my family members is like, that's bad behavior. I have all women in my family, so I can't say I'd fight somebody, but I'd want to, for sure. Don't tell me I can't sleep around my family. Don't say you want to fight them. Say
you want to kill them. That's DJ strategy.
I'm not DJ. That's killing family members is a DJ thing.
PJ Bean.
More like OJ Bean. It's more like OJ Bean.
That's very good. What's that?
I said it's more like OJ Bean.
OJ Bean.
Oh boy.
Killing family members.
What did he do?
Yeah, you're a really good football player. Really good running back.
Letter of the law.
Should have been Terminator.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I do not want to do that. But in that moment, I do. So this, I will say, honestly, it is the only time that I believe in, and now I'm like subtweeting my father, who is my best friend, and I love him so much. But the only time that I believe in God is when someone falls asleep near me and starts snoring, because in that moment, I believe in the devil. I'm like, whatever is going on there, that a person is sitting and just fucking screaming from their mouth while they're asleep, that makes me think they are in some way possessed.
I mean, this is
Dmitry Snorlov.
Just like my political beliefs. Do whatever the fuck you want, but get prepared to deal with the consequences. Like, if you want to sleep around me, go the fuck ahead. But like if we're if it's like the boys and you fall asleep around me, like you need to be prepared to deal with those consequences.
So that's a very like 25-year-old
I was
man
gonna say,
take.
Sean's out here marker fucking.
No, but like I'm gonna take like I have plenty of pictures of, and this was in college, but like my best friends falling asleep in public places or like around us just to make fun of them with because they look stupid when they fall asleep.
I can tell that I'm getting old or am old by the fact that if I fall asleep around any of my boys and there are consequences, I don't want them to be my boys anymore.
I'm okay. Yeah. I don't want. I'm not putting their hands in a bottle of water or like a cup of water. Or putting shaving cream in there.
Also, like all my friends have like kids at this point, so if I were to fall asleep, they'd be like, he needs it.
They give you a blanket.
Now, I will say, if I were to go to someone's house and they fell asleep, like I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm going home now. Like I'm just gonna leave.
You can't fall asleep at your own house.
Yeah,
if you're hosting, can't fall asleep.
But like that's part of what I mean with like dealing with the consequences. And also like if you want to fall asleep and you're gonna snore, like you deserve to get smacked. Not like aggressively, but like it's gonna be a little like, hey,
finally,
fuck, what are we doing here?
I thought we were being men here.
Yeah, no. Like,
thank you, Sean.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like if you're gonna disrupt the party or whatever because you're falling asleep like an asshole, then like you deserve consequences. You got to deal with that.
Snoring is such bad behavior.
I agree. Yeah,
and I don't know how I don't snore, but somehow I don't snore. I've got this fucking gigantic nose. I would think that I would snore a lot. I don't, and I think that it is truly because in my soul,
you will yourself away from
I
sleep.
fucking fight it so hard.
Yeah, that was another thing I was gonna say. If you're like somebody that snores super loud and you know that you snore, you should be arrested if you fall asleep in public. Like if you fall asleep on a train or a plane or something like that, jail.
So
like,
you need to know that's yourself. What I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's not good behavior.
If it's disruptive, then absolutely. But again, go ahead and sleep. And if you're around a bunch of pussies that don't do anything about it, then you win. WU. But you need to be prepared to deal with the consequences.
Okay, great job, chat. Just hammering a lot of good. I mean, I guess we're just back to fucking sleepy hockey names, which is basically how the true soul of this show was born. But what I was saying before we got sidetracked by you two fucking bozos is at the end of hockey games in the playoffs, I have such a fucking hard time getting up off the couch. The fucking event has ended. You're done.
Your event has ended. Famously.
Adjourn. And I have such a hard time adjourning. I just sit there like fucking David Putty for like a half hour. Don't fucking get up. I'm not lying down watching these games. I'm sitting up. I'm fucking working. I'm being professional.
Professional, yeah.
But after it ends, I'm sitting there until like 1 a.m. Get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Adjourn. Go away, DJ. The room doesn't want you anymore.
Look, it's the first round. You got plenty of time to work on it.
So are you able to, as soon as it's over, adjourn, bang, bang, bang?
Yeah, it's the getting into bed and falling asleep part that has burned me a few times so far already.
I have to turn the TV back on, and I'd gotten into a nice way of not turning the TV on during sleepy times, but now I'm full back on to put on a stand-up special of someone I don't think is funny and just fucking fall asleep to whatever.
So who you been watching?
Last night, you know what I put on?
Yeah.
Just to see if it was funny. And I'm not just saying this to be on the right side of history. The classic Louis C.K. stand-up special, Hilarious. It's called Hilarious. Yeah. The first 15 minutes, not a single laugh.
It's very woke of you.
Thank you very much. Sean?
Are you asking my opinion? Sean, what?
Just going to you. Directing traffic.
I will say I have had this schedule has been hard on me. It's been very difficult for me in the mornings. Because usually if the West Coast games, I'm only staying up. I will end up turning those off halfway through and going to bed because I don't need to watch the rest of it. But
that's where the money is, man.
I have we've gotten a little bit of we've gotten some. I don't know if you've noticed this. You definitely have. We've gotten a little bit of group text Sean of late, which I've liked, but we've also gotten a little bit of Western Conference Sean. Getting those post 11 p.m. oh shit exclamation point texts. That's all I want.
New Sean, who this?
Yeah. The Western Conference is a lot more interesting when you're not just watching the Arizona Coyotes.
We all silly like the mayor.